Hey, I'm Mark Wilson. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we're making Mamie's Gumbo. And one thing about that was, whenever the weather in Louisiana became chilly, cold, there was one thing guaranteed was that Mamie was going to start making her delicious gumbo. And it is amazing. The aroma's fantastic. The taste, unlike something most people have ever tasted, had the opportunity to taste it. It's amazing. And whenever I was going to make it, whenever I hear somebody mention gumbo, I think of how comfortable it was to be back home when she would make it. And all the good times we had sitting around the table laughing and eating her nice buttermilk biscuits to go with it. Like that one time at the house, my boys were sitting out there in the living room, and I just come out of the kitchen and I forgot the M&Ms to go with popcorn. Yeah, I do that. And if you haven't done that, you should try it. And they said, where are the M&Ms? I forgot them. The kitchen was right behind us, open floor plan. And they went to turn around to go get them, and they asked, why'd you leave all the doors, kept the doors open? And sure enough, every damn door was wide open in the kitchen. I told them I didn't do that, and we decided to call it an early night and just nope the hell out of there. Unlike that, this is going to be comfort food, and it basically is amazing. So we're going to get started, aren't we? So one of the key aspects for any gumbo, any good gumbo that is the roux. There's two different ways you can make roux. I guess there's three, and you're not helping this time. Butter, flour, it can be gluten-free flour. This is gluten-free flour, we don't have to add anything to it. And use blonde roux, medium roux, dark roux. So I've got it in the description below how to basically make those things and as far as the recipes. But one key thing to remember, I'm just going to make this one a light roux. If you make a dark roux or a brown roux, there's descriptions on that. It takes about 2 hours. Just doesn't take nearly as long. We're basically going to make it nice and light blonde, but this is the foundation for any great gumbo. I'm going to show you how it's done. So one thing you need to have when you're making a roux is a roux powder. Always a wooden spoon. And you don't have to use a wooden spoon, but that's just what the family used the entire time. So we're going to melt this butter down, and then we're going to slowly start adding in our flour. In this case, it's gluten-free, gluten flour, whichever one you need to use for you. Neither one matters. You don't have to add anything extra to it like we do whenever we're baking. So we've got our butter melting. We're going to slowly start adding in our flour, and then we're going to whisk it all together. One thing we don't want to have are lumps. No lumps. So that's why it's got to be nice and smooth. Now I've got the paddle out. Just going to keep moving it around. Just a little bit darker. Almost got it right where we want it. If you see brown spots starting to pop up, you got your heat too high, you didn't stir it enough, you got to basically throw it out at that point. That's why making a blonde roux is a lot easier than making a dark one, but I've got the details in the description, the video below, exactly how to make both of these just as easy as possible and almost impossible to mess it up. Use this Dutch oven for our gumbo. I'm going to pour in our chicken stock. And then we're going to get this going to a boil. So we've got our stock getting heated back up. And now we've got our skillet here. And then we're going to basically just add in our sausage. And we're going to fry that up. Chicken stock all nice and hot. Fish boiling. And now we're going to add in our roux very carefully because you don't want this to splatter on you. Nice blonde roux. And we're going to basically just mix it all together. Get it nice and thoroughly combined. Like I said, this is like the base of your entire gumbo. That's why it's so important. Now, as far as what you're going to put in it, recipe calls for boiling a whole chicken to create your stock. If you have leftover chicken, great. If you have leftover duck, fantastic. If you boil it, either one, that's fantastic. But what you really want to do is get it into like 1-inch pieces. or 1/2-inch pieces. And this is just where it gets really simple at this point in time. She likes to do things simple. I followed in suit. So we're gonna start adding all our stuff into it. And I've got it all laid out here around the table. I had some leftover chicken, so that's what I'm using for this for today, and some leftover duck, so I'm using a combination of the two. Hey, if yours is around the holidays and you make turkey and don't know what to do with it, I've used that as well. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding in our chicken and our duck mixture here. Depending on how much you put in this, you may need to add some more fluids to it. And you can just add additional water if you don't have any more stock. That'll be fine too. We're gonna add in our sausages. We're gonna add in our celery. We're gonna add in our okra. Yep, I did not grow any this year, so I had to use frozen kind. We got our onions, all nice and chopped. And I have a blend of bell peppers here. So we're gonna add those in as well. Start with our seasonings, our Cajun seasoning. Don't want to overpower it because they're gonna blend together just fine, kind of the way they are. Our bay leaves, which gives it a nice little flavor. Our parsley, which doesn't take much. She didn't call for much in the recipe. And I gotta tell you, it works out just fine. This is like a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. If you like it hotter, add more. If you don't like it hot at all, you just go with some black pepper. It won't be quite as hot. And then we've got a teaspoon of salt. That, my friends, is pretty much all there is to this. Get it nice and mixed up, get everything nice and combined. At this point in time, you want to basically put it on the stove and have it simmer for 2 hours. That's 2 hours. And during that time frame, you want to stir it occasionally. I will, as always, I'll give you the simplest way to do things. Since you're basically just going to simmer this for 2 hours, if you got a crock pot and you can auto simmer, that would be the way to go. All right, check you out when it's done. Well, there you have it, an authentic bowl of Louisiana style gumbo made from a recipe from my Aunt Mamie that dates back to the 50s. The best way I like to have this served is over a bed of Louisiana popcorn rice. Just a little bit of rice and a whole lot of gumbo. Biscuits on the side, do cornbread, whatever it is, French bread, tastes great. It's great whether it's cold outside like my aunt used to make it, whether it's raining, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, hell, it's great anytime. The recipe is in the description of this video below. Shoot me a message, let me know what you think. You can hit me up at CookinwithWilson, that's without the G, at Gmail, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whichever one. And let me know what you think about it. It's also, the recipe is also in one of my cookbooks. This will be in volume 3 of my cookbook collection. For each volume, I've got all the proceeds I receive go to charity for this go around. Volume 3, all the proceeds that I receive are going to go to the SmileTrain.org. They specialize in cleft repair for kids and work really hard to put smiles on kids' faces. So, hey, if you want to donate directly, the link to SmileTrain.org is down below. You can click on that, you can type it in, whichever way you want to contribute, it'd be fantastic, because I think we can all know that we need to get as many smiles on kids' faces as we possibly can. And I'll close with this one last thing. Forgive yourself for not knowing better until you did know to know better. Till next time, bye.